Hi YouTubers, in case you think I haven't, I've neglected you for a while. I'm only doing about two, maybe three a week on YouTube. The rest I'm doing on Patreon. But anyway, honour's even at the moment, so I'm going to do another acrylic. As you can see, it's a small piece, well, it's half sheet of paper. Let's tell exactly the size of it in centimetres. 30 centimetres, which is 12 inches by 21. So there we are. It's just ordinary watercolour paper, and I've just given it a wash over with some burnt umber and dried it with the hairdryer. This is sort of a tutorial on my approach to acrylic painting. Well, obviously you need some paints. You don't need top quality paints, except for one titanium white. You'll need a really good quality titanium white, and I use Galleria and one or two others if you can't get the cheaper ones from Wilkinson's or some black. I don't count that as a colour. These are my colours: cadmium yellow, well, one of the cadmium yellows, one of the it's a vermilion, ultramarine. That's what I use just to stain the paper. I had a demo on it, the tree demonstration, but I can do that anytime. Medium, well, I've got some PVA, well, I don't know whether I'll use it, some VO5. It's a hair gel. Well, as you know, that I don't need hair gel because I haven't got any hair. It's acrylic. It's just a flow medium, helps the paint flow a bit. But to be quite honestly, the student quality paints are thin enough as they are. Just a bit of water maybe, but you can spray. But what I want to do is I've done this Brittany Cottage. It's a very simple drawing. Essentially they're blue-black slate roofs, deep in shadow on the side, white there, a bit dirty, and some trees, a bit of rocky coastline, Brittany coastline, and a sort of just a fishing boat, just tethered. I might use a bit of that burnt umber because it makes a good sand colour, but usually mixed with a bit of yellow, bit of raw, or no, bit of yellow ochre. When these things are finished and drying, nice and dry, which is not long at all, this is one I did yesterday for you. I don't know if you can see it shining, but there you go. I put 2 coats of slightly dilute PVA glue, PVA glue, which is a very good flow medium anyway, but it does dry quickly. But I've put that over the top. Now that's now as thick as a piece of canvas and pretty strong, I would imagine, because that's got 2 plastic coats plus the paint. So that could be framed quite easily as an oil painting, stuck on a piece of board, MDF, and trimmed, like the white bits trimmed off, and that would easily fit a frame as an oil painting. Stick it to the board, or you can frame it in a mount like a watercolour. You know, put that, and if you've got a frame, paint pictures to your frames. That's my advice. If you've got a frame, paint a picture to it. Don't paint a picture, then get the frame, unless it's a standard size, because it stops you from cutting bits off, making it smaller, bits you don't like. But I like this approach to acrylic painting. I'm not going to show you how I primed the boards. I showed you that in a video that's done better than most of my paintings, sad to say. So I'm going to use a bit of white just to block in. Pull my sleeve up. I don't want to. Right, okay, let's just block in. Try and keep this all nice and upright, vertical. Look at that. Down there. Don't know if you go over the edges. And then we'll do a bit on this one here. Let's just put that slightly higher chimney. and then that coming down there. When you've done as many paintings as I have, and all my stuff, every painting I've done over the past 4.5 years is on Facebook, on my timeline. Right, okay, lovely. Keep your brushes lovely and clean. This brush is just a little ½ inch, quarter of an inch, 3/8 of an inch actually, 3/8 of an inch nylon flat, sent to me by Alan Owen, my great friend. He's very generous. He sent me that nice brush, and some others, and this lovely, not rigger, it's just a nice fine brush for nice little bits and pieces. That will get used. I have used it, but I keep them very, very clean. Okay, so when that's dried a bit, I'll start working the sky. But when that's dry, I'll just put in the black roofs. I'll bring that over that yellow, white. Now I want a dramatic sky, so bit of ultramarine, bit of blue, bit of white, plenty of blue in there. That black mixes very well with the blue for a good cloud colour. We can make it stronger than that. We can add a bit of red to it, which I will. I'm just using a bit of water to dilute this. That's the great thing about acrylic. You can use water with it. Now, I know I'm well known for my skies, because I probably do them better than anything else. But they are always there. You just have to look up. There they are, ready to be painted, imagined, and they don't run out. The skies we're getting now in the late autumn are absolutely sensational. But not today. It's a blue sky with white fluffy clouds, and I don't really like doing that. I like stormy. And around Brittany, the coast of Brittany in France, there's a lot of weather, a lot of cloud, a lot of sun, a lot of storm, Finisterre. But I've had some holidays. I've had several holidays in Brittany with my old camping trailer. I used to go to Carnac, and lovely place near Quiberon, Loch Maria Care. And there's a very famous photographer down there, and I can't remember his name now. And a great artist called Georges Laporte, who paints these Brittany cottages, and he uses sand and all sorts of stuff in his oil paintings. Absolutely magnificent. Okay, let's put a bit of light in there now. A bit of red, touch of yellow. That yellow is very strong. So let's just dab it about. So I'm not going to use any of that VO5. Now I want quite a light horizon here. And remember, keep everything soft. The sky into the sea into the sky. Same with the trees. I know from photographs, and I keep saying this, that it's a solid line in the photograph, and you're telling me to do a soft approach. But if you do it my way, it looks more real, more authentic. And after all, we're creating impressions, not copies of photographs. We use them to work from. The Impressionists did. And I believe they also worked on each other's paintings, and they also worked in studios as well. They do it all outdoors. See, this paper's lovely and rough. It's like canvas. Okay, well, let's do a bit of sea. So the sky colour, Probably a better grey would be burnt umber and ultramarine, but I'm going to stick to the black, ultramarine, and red to improve all that. That's to be done in a minute. So let's get our sky colour down on the horizon. Obliterate my little boat. It can be a little bit lumpy if you want. So let's just blend it. And we'll go with a bit of lighter stuff. Just roughing in, just finding my way. That's my laptop. Do you find that your laptop batteries don't last very long? Not surprising, is it really, when you consider that they have to do so much work, what with the fans and things. They last about a year and then they pack up. So I'm just waiting for a new one to appear. They're very cheap, or relatively cheap. So one a year is not bad, is it? Okay, now that's still not quite right. So I'll do a little bit of cloud now on this. So a bit of dark. A bit more red. You can paint thick, thin, whatever you like. But black can overwhelm, so use it with a bit of restraint. Not a lot, no, a bit of. Get a bit bitty. Bit of dry brush. This is the paper is a bit of Fabriano, £130, the studio paper. Ideal. Bit of red. Just building up a bit of an impasto there. I'm going to put some light grey. So put a little bit of detail in your sky. I'll put trees around there. Just feathering it up. Just a bit of dry brush. But I want this light here because I'm going to put in trees. But not white, light, not white. We've got a nice bit of white there. But a nice bit of warm on these. Oh, the phone's going now. We'll warm that up. Sometimes sketches are better than the finished work. One of the great joys of galleries is that I saw the John Constable cartoons, I suppose cartoons, or sketches for his 6 foot wide fabulous landscapes. I saw them in the Victoria and Albert Museum. I also saw them in the Tate Britain, as distinct from Tate Modern. There was an exhibition of the 6 foot paintings with their cartoons, or with their sketches. But the sketches look better than the finished paintings. But they were absolutely fabulous, fabulous. And I saw them in an adjacent exhibition, 2 large rooms. with Sir Howard Hodgkin, sadly who died. Howard Hodgkin was a great colourist and abstract painter. He went to art school in Camberwell with my late neighbour across the road in the 50s. He's very old, but he was lovely. He was often on BBC television. He was quite a character, but a wonderful, wonderful painter. Now, I hope that's bright enough. I'm just going to brighten up a bit. I've got the thing I'm working from, the model. Just a touch of light. Try that. Okay. Okay. Now we want a bit of light in there. In those clouds. Bit of red. Nice warm. And we'll get that on the horizon. It's going over the sea. Bit more red on that horizon. Just covering over the high spots on the paper. Catching the light. Okay. Sun's coming from somewhere. Okay, that's interesting enough. Okay, I'm going to put in the roofs now. So black and blue. Got to be careful. Don't forget, I've got to. Oh, I mustn't forget that I've got to do the trees. I can have off-white walls or grey walls. So I want that house behind to be partly behind the. That's it. Alright, now nice white, off white. Can dirty that up. Right, let's put a bit of shadow in on the side of the chimneys. I'd like to squeeze out a bit more blue. I'm trying to be a bit stingy with this because I usually end up throwing most of it away. It's a bit higher up that one. So I get that parallel. Slight slope. Okay, I do. Actually, that one is larger than that one, but they're all different, so it doesn't really matter. It's only a demo, isn't it? So we give that one a slightly sloping roof there. Oh, let's get that bit longer there. By the time I put some windows on, okay, so there are a couple of fishermen's cottages. Let's do a bit on the slopes. I've got to lose some of that with the trees I'm going to put in. So let's make up a colour for those rocks. I need a bit of a smaller brush now. Bit of grey, bit of warm grey, so red. Oh, probably need to pin that tree down in there. And that would be a bit darker in there. The shadow. I'll probably use a knife in that. Get a better effect with the knife. Right, let's put some trees in. So black and yellow. Do this. Another tip really is to put out your yellow and then add the black to it. Otherwise, it starts off black and stays black. The other way around. So let's just. I'll put some lighter green on there. A bit of red. Right, so let's get some lighter colour on top of that. Otherwise, I will reinstate that, but it's lost and found all the time, painting over and then coming back to it. But using just 3 colours is a bit challenging. Okay, that'll do it for a minute. Now, right, let's do some modelling, bit of black, bit of blue, bit of paint, palette grey. Nice rocky. Right, silhouette in here. Whatever works. It's easy to do rocks with a knife. I have to take the sky back over that. It's a bit heavy. Okay. That yellow is very, very lovely. This cake yellow deep. Well, I can put a bit of green over that. A bit of green on there. Just rough it up a little bit. Right. Get some nice, see if I can get a nice grey now. Be careless there. But just a rock impression. Now let's just go back with that sky now. That should be more or less dry. Let's silhouette highlight. Just soften all that. It wasn't really working there. Soften those trees. So a bit of blue in there, I think. Show a little bit of recession. No, that should have been dry there. It wasn't. Soften that roof. I'll go back to that. Right, let's do a bit of that sea because we're coming on now. We're making some sort of progress. Well, before we do, let's go back to the sky. Let's get some dry brush in here. And some darker bits of blue up there. Yeah. Right, now let's see. Let's colour for that. Keep it soft. Lighter, I think lighter on that horizon. See, that red is very strong. It's only a cheapo. It's hard to highlight that headland there. Okay. I want some dark bits to just put on there. So a bit of red, a bit of black, a bit of yellow, more black. Right, I can let that dry a bit. We can put some highlights around the little headland there. We dry first. Now, bit of that burnt umber I'm going to use. Plenty of white, bit of yellow, but plenty of white, because that gives a nice sandy look. Right, that's a bit of shadow in there now. Let's break up that. Oops. Catching a bit of light. Sorry, I keep bashing the camera. Right, let's get. If I can just a bit of light there. No, I've still gone too far over. I've got to let that dry a bit. Horizon is just invading me. Right, let's get some nice highlights on there now. Got to put my boat in. A bit of black. I'm going to put some of that sky colour in now. Just reflecting in that water and the flat tide. Okay. No more than that. Now my little boat. Just a black boat with a bit of a white highlight. A little bit of reflection there. I'm going to put a little bit of white highlight on it. Ah. Right, well that'll have to do. Let's get a bit of white on the brush. And just reflecting in there. And oh, let that go. Nearly finished. Oh, just a touch there. Now that just shows up everything. All right. Get that cloud colour back on the edge of those trees. Just feather that. Right, now with my little brush. I'll use this one. Put in some little bit of detail on here. the doors to be under the chimney, or where the chimney is. For this one, yeah. Try not to do them too clean, because that's soft again. Now just a nice bit of pure white, just highlight. And we'll just do a bit of a roof line up here. And that'll do. I'm not going to do any more than that. I think maybe my trees could be a little bit stronger, which we'll just do. But I don't want to, I want it light on the top of there, or light as it is now. And just a little bit darker, a bit higher up. Ones that look like trees. Where was that? I'll be working on Patreon tomorrow morning. So I'm sure most of you don't mind me using YouTube to advertise my Patreon channel. After all, these materials need to be paid for, as does my next laptop. Alright, let's just soften a little bit. Just a little bit of light shining through. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Let's put it in a mount and have a look, see what it's like. Sorry. No, I'm not quite sure whether that registers quite as strongly as maybe it could have. Let's just give a bit of a more of a silhouetted top to it, or to bits of it. Just a little bit of light. Right, I don't think I can do much more to it than that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll get that uploaded. See you soon. Bye bye. Oh no, then I'll bring the camera around so that you can see it full on in all its glory. Right, I think the camera looks okay. I'll just check it. See if I can just brighten up a little bit. Oh, there we are. No, I've got a lot of brightness there. But the mount is like an ivory mount, probably just a little bit bright, but that's that's probably about as near as I'm going to get on the Logitech webcam. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.